Before we get to our Niners-Falcons preview today, it's a sub-battle between Falcons Today, this channel, and our 49ers Report channel. Now, when the Falcons took down the Browns, we crushed our Browns channel in subscribers. So let's keep those good vibes going in the universe. It is proven that when you sub for Falcons dubs, you tend to win. Hit that big red button and subscribe. Plus, you'll get free Falcons videos all season and off-season long. It is the Falcons hosting the San Francisco 49ers this week. A fairly important game here for Atlanta. Beyond a potential Kyle Shanahan revenge game, I guess, Atlanta's very much in the mix early on this year for a playoff spot. Taking down a potential playoff team and or a division winner would go a long way in boosting their chances and the confidence in this Falcons team right now. Now, first, some injury notes on Atlanta. Got the full injury report here. Kyle Pitts was limited. He says he's going to play. That's good news. We'll talk more about Pitts later on. It makes me very happy. Elijah Wilkinson went from did not participate to limited, so progress on that side. I will make note, Bradley Pinion, the punter, popped up today. Personal matter, so I'm not worried there. The only did not participate was Michael Walker. I don't think he's going to go this week. And then Ade Ogundeji is limited, heading in the right direction from that standpoint. When you're limited Wednesday and Thursday, normally you're able to go, even if you're not quite 100%. To be clear, and if you've watched our show before when I've talked about Arthur Smith or on my Twitter at WhatGoingDowney, I am not a fan of the way Arthur Smith has used their freak athlete tight end. I know he missed last week. Get him the damn football. It is Kyle Pitts. He is by far one of your two best playmakers on offense, and there's a pretty big gap behind number two, or how you feel about Drake London. I've got Pitts number one. 10 catches is not enough in 4 games. He needs to be more involved, and hopefully that happens this week. Now, Michael Walker had a pretty good performance last week. 11 tackles, 7 of them solo against the Bucs. You're playing a Niners team that loves to run the football. You love to have him out there. The fact he's missed the last 2 days of practice is a bit of a red flag. Hopefully, he's okay. The 49ers, meanwhile, they have a long list of injuries. I'll go player by player here. First up, the 2 defensive linemen. Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead have both missed both days of practice. That's a red flag for the Niners. If they're down Bosa and Armstead, that's concerning. Javon Kinlaw also missed both days of practice. Those are 3 of their top 4 defensive linemen banged up right now. Trent Williams, probably going to miss this week. Jeff Wilson, he was full. He'll be fine. Jimmy Ward, the corner safety, did not participate both days of practice. Big-time red flag there. Danny Gray went limited, then full. He'll be fine. Tyler Kroft was limited. I think he'll be okay. The other top 4 pass rushers or defensive linemen, Samson Ebukam, limited Thursday, so I think he goes. Robbie Gould was a full participant, so I think he'll be back this week for the 49ers. So when it comes to this game, what is your confidence level in Atlanta securing a win? Scale this for me from 1 to 10. 1, you think the Falcons are going to get blown up here. 10, being you think they're going to win and you have no doubts about it. It's the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, it's great timing. While the ad plays, head down there and scale that for me from 1 to 10. All right, let's talk some keys to victory. Number 4, contain Deebo Samuel. Note I said stop, or I did not say stop. I said contain because it's Deebo Samuel. He's one of the more fun and dynamic chess pieces in the entire NFL on offense. Now, we know he's great through the air, 20 catches for 260 yards, plus a dynamic round player. We'll get to more in depth later on in today's show. I would like A.J. Terrell to look a little bit more like the guy we saw last year. I don't think he's been bad this year, but I thought Terrell had one of the most underrated seasons in the entire NFL last season. Hasn't been quite that good this year. Terrell and Casey Hayward and maybe some D. Alford since the Niners have to play Deebo in the slot because, that's what smart coaches do. They move their playmakers around, get them the ball in touches in creative ways. Got to step up in the secondary this week. And you've also got Brandon Ayuk, who has been a very promising vertical threat for San Francisco, who Shanahan likes a lot. I think was going to have a better year with Trey Lance. The nice part is Jimmy Garoppolo's not that great of a quarterback, so I think you'll be okay there. What's interesting is George Kittle has not been productive so far this year. I think in part, Trent Williams is banged up. They've almost made Kittle their second left tackle to an extent of like helping him block a lot. But if I told you Kittle had 99 yards here, you go, oh, in one game? No, through 5 games this year. So keep an eye on Kittle. Maybe the breakout game comes, but hopefully not. You can do it next week. Now, if you want to bet on the Niners to win this game, do it with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/betfalcons and use promo code Falcons. 125% deposit bonus when you put down at least $100. The Niners are the betting favorite this week. 5.5 points. Keep that in mind. Maybe not as large as you might have thought with the way the Falcons have played so far this year and the Niners have played so far this year. So you put down $5 on the Falcons to win or at least to cover. If you do that and you put down $100, chatsports.com/betfalcons and use promo code Falcons, good news, everybody. You still got a ton of leftover money. Head over there and put your money down today. Next key to victory, get the run game going again. And I know you're down Cordero Patterson, but the whole point of having Arthur Smith and Marcus Mariota is that you have a good ground game overall. And unfortunately, against an admittedly awesome Bucs run defense, Tyler Algier, 13 carries for 45 yards. He averaged 3.5 yards per carry. At a 17-yarder, that is still not very good. You take that one run away, ooh, it's dicey. Caleb Huntley did break loose for 22 yards on one, but only had 34 total on 8 carries. The Niners are, unfortunately, folks, a very good run defense as well. Now, against the Browns, who do not have a very good run defense, the Falcons were much more successful on the ground. Nothing that big. Algier was just breaking off consistent 7, 8, 9, 10-yard runs. Huntley also was very effective, 5.6 yards per carry. I need the Browns' style of ground game. Problem is this defense for San Francisco is a little bit closer to what we've seen from the Bucs. They allowed the least amount of yards per game on the ground, 71.4. That vaunted front seven does not budge. But all 4 guys are on the injury report this week. So you could see a lot of Drake Jackson, of Charles Omenihu, of Kamiko Toure, Kevin Givens, Hassan Ridgeway. If that's the case, you feel a lot better about that Niners defense not limiting you on the ground. Now, I know there are many of you who want to make it Desmond Ridder, and I understand where you're coming from. I do. Look, it's going to be Mariota this week. He's got to push the ball downfield, both schemed and by choice, a little bit more. Mariota's simply not been that great so far this year. He hasn't been, I think, as bad as some want to make him out to be, but he's also a problem as well. Teams in the end go as far as the quarterback can take them. You've got to find the balance of taking some risks and not having turnovers. I think Mariota sometimes leans too much on the I'm going to be ultra cautious side and not turn the football over at all, and it leaves some plays on the field. I'm okay with it with an interception or two if you're making big plays as well. Otherwise, look, in the modern NFL, explosive plays are a fantastic indicator of drive success. Without explosive plays in the passing game, it is almost impossible to consistently win in the modern-day NFL. That means Drake London gets going. Now, he's shown some real promise this year. I'm a huge fan of him as a receiver. I think he's been held in check a bit by the Falcons' not-so-great passing attack. I want to see him get going. So I got one more key to get to. But first, what is your biggest key to the game? Falcons, is it QB, ground game, sacks, pressure, you name it, whatever buzzword you're looking for there, drop it for me in the comments section. Key to the game number 4, can't get behind big, because there's a couple different reasons why here, right? If the Niners in that vaunted pass rush smell blood in the water and get to just pressure you, you're in trouble. As great as Mariota is with his legs, you don't want that. The Niners are a team that typically starts hot. They've actually led at halftime in all 5 games this year, despite being 3-2. If you can at least not be behind big, you will have a chance to find a way to make some plays and push forward. The Niners, meanwhile, have a fantastic ground game themselves. Jeff Wilson, with Elijah Mitchell out for at least a couple more weeks, has been averaging 5.1 yards per carry. He's not the same burner that Deebo is when they give him the football. He's averaging 6 yards per carry. Those two guys are great, despite the team itself averaging only 4.6 yards per carry. If they get ahead in the game, they will run the football. They will use the vaunted Shanahan rushing attack to control the clock, keep your offense off the field, keep their defense fresh, and have some long, sustained drives. Their explosive play rate on the ground is quite impressive. So you don't want to be behind big. Otherwise, for a team, the Falcons, that doesn't throw the ball that well against a team that runs it great in San Francisco, has a great pass rush, you do not want to be playing uphill, if you will. You don't want to have that field flipped and tilted against you. You want to be in the game the entire time, not trying to mount a big comeback. Before we go, predict the score for me of the Falcons and the 49ers. Let me know in the comments section right now, and please make sure you guys are subscribed. If we catch the Niners in subs this week, I have a good feeling about the Falcons' chances. Hit that big red button right now.